So welcome to our travel channel, and we're so excited to take you on our first ever cruise together. We went on the Majestic Princess to Alaska. So sit tight, we'll get you some tips, some tricks, and we'll share our experience with you. We're also going to explain why we named our channel Yes, We're Together, why we're coordinated, why we frequently are coordinated in our attire when we're out and about. Because we like to avoid that awkward question, one check or two.
Ready? Let's get started. My name is Andrew.
And my name is Julie.
And yes, we're together.
Okay, so first things first, why do we match and why do we call this Yes, We're Together? Andy and I have been married for 28 years. And we noticed that depending on where we live, when we go out for dinner together, the waitress will ask us, is this one check or two?
Are you all together or is it separate checks?
And so we decided that we were going to try to avoid that question by matching our outfits. So for Christmas, for example, I got us matching sweatshirts or hoodies or whatever you want to call them.
And it works, and we are getting less of those questions.
No separate checks.
In some parts of the United States, they don't expect having an Asian man being married to a Caucasian woman. And so, and I typically don't like to dress up. So I wear just, old jeans and a t-shirt, and Julie's always looking fantastic and looking like $1,000,000. And so they don't think that we're together. So now, because we're coordinating and I'm up my game a little bit in what I wear, we get
that question less.
And that's why we're doing it. This was our first cruise, and naturally we wanted to be prepared. So the previous cruise arrived in port at 6 a.m. and people were starting to offload from that group of passengers early in the morning. And so then the crew would work from then till about 10 a.m. to try to get the staterooms ready, get the cruise ship ready for the next group of passengers. And so we got there a little bit before 10 o'clock in the morning, and then we were able to get on board by 10:30. And so Julie and I were able to walk around. We were able to tour some of the facilities and look at the ship before the crowds really started to build up. And previously I was a senior medical officer for a U.S. carrier, and the cruise ship is in comparison about the same size as a U.S. carrier. So a U.S. carrier is roughly 333 meters long, which is roughly 3 football fields long. The cruise ship is 330 meters, so it is just 3 meters shy of the length of a United States nuclear carrier.
There was quite a bit of entertainment that you could avail yourself of on the ship. There was shopping, there was a casino, which isn't really our scene. There was several restaurants included in your package or whatever, and then also you could pay for extra for different meals. We found the gym. We found what else did we find? We found the pickleball court. We found ping pong. We found all sorts of different things when we were exploring the ship. When we got on the ship, the staterooms weren't ready until about 1 o'clock or so. So we just walked around, got a drink, just kind of oriented ourselves to the ship.
And we also saw the ship's theater, which is quite large. And in the theater for the Alaskan cruise, there were naturalists and there were lecturers. There were people who were guest speakers who were invited to come on board, as well as entertainers. They flew in magicians as well as artists and other entertainers to perform and to provide entertainment during the cruise.
On social media and various other sources, you can find lots of hacks for cruising. And we have also friends that have cruised. So I tried to get as much information as I could beforehand, just to make sure that we were organized and that everything went smoothly. One of the great things that we did was we had an over-the-door organizer. It was one of those cheap ones that just had pockets. And so we put in snacks and first aid, wires, cables, whatever, just to keep things organized. And we could see it because it was clear, so we knew exactly what was in there. That was a good hack. We put that on the back side of the bathroom door, so that was a good one. The other one was magnetic hooks. All of your interior walls are metal, so if you have a metal magnet with a hook on it, you can hang up anything and you can put them anywhere. So that was also a really great hack. And based on what you need, there's different like strengths of magnets, and so if you want like a really strong one, you can order that, whatever works. So one of the things that you could do also is, if you're planning on having an excursion on a boat, purchase one of those covers for your phones that makes them waterproof. That's also a really good one. A mini first aid kit is essential, with your Band-Aids, of course, and then also whatever pain reliever you need, something for your tummy. If this is your first trip, I would say definitely bring something to help you with seasickness. Now, I have to add that I did purchase some patches from Amazon that were highly rated and were ineffective because their active ingredient was lemon and ginger.
Seriously, what's going on?
So I would definitely recommend that you read your labels and make sure that you're getting what you think you're getting when you're ordering from Amazon, because not all remedies are created equal.
So Julie and I have included the links to Amazon for your reference, and so we'll make sure we put the right or the correct patches in the description below.
One of the other things that I thought was fabulous was a Medallion Watch attachment. When you make your reservation, they will give you a lanyard for your medallion, and so it's got this princess thing and it goes around your neck. And I do not like having things around my neck like that, and so it was kind of a pain in the pain. So what we did was we got these medallion, it's like a little insert, and they're approximately the size of an AirTag. So we thought this would be good, and those worked out really well. So you just have to wear your watch every day and everywhere you go, but that's all right.
Yeah, and the medallions are really cool. I mean, these are basically AirTag technology that allows you to buy things on the ship, allows you to get on and off the ship, and it also, your stateroom will detect when you get close to your stateroom and unlock your stateroom automatically. And they're also used to track you down on the ship, so when you order something for like food delivery or a meal or room service, you can actually have them find you using your medallion, and the server will bring the food right to you on the ship.
You can also find your person that you're traveling with. It'll tell you where they are in the ship, and it'll actually, in the app, it'll give you directions to your person if you lose them. So kind of interesting technology. I don't know if I totally love being tracked all the time, but it is what it is.
You want to say something about the pineapples?
No.
Are you kidding, baby? I put the go in swinger, baby.
Yeah, so when you're going on a trip to Alaska, you're expecting to see whales, wildlife, whatever. And on the excursions, you also should expect to see that as well. So make sure you bring your binoculars. If you don't have binoculars, they will sell them to you, but I'm sure that they're not on sale. And the last but not least is the luggage tags. When you arrive on the ship, you're going to drop off your luggage, and they give you a tag, but they're encouraging you just to staple this piece of paper onto your luggage. We bought these luggage tags for cruises, and they are not expensive, but they're very good, and your stuff won't get separated from your tag, and they worked perfectly, and those were really good too. So make sure you don't lose your luggage. They move a lot of luggage really fast, and I would not be surprised if a lot of luggage goes missing if you're just using the paper with the staples.
And another point about the binoculars is that even if you're not looking at wildlife, in the morning when we went down sailed down the Endicott Arm in Alaska, the glacier that we were viewing was actually right in front of a sunrise. And as the sun rose over the glacier, it was so bright and it was hard to see anything without the binoculars. And the binoculars basically shielded the sun away a little bit, that allowed you to see the details of the glacier, and that was very helpful.
One of the great things about traveling on a cruise is that they actually have space under your bed. And so what we were told from my friend was to put your shoes in open up your suitcase, put your shoes in your suitcase, and then slide it under the bed. And that was perfect for storage. A lot of people are very worried about storage on ships, and we had plenty of storage. We also had portable hangers. They were extra. They folded up really small. We actually didn't even really need those. There was an option to have more hangers delivered to your room in groups of 6, and they weren't going to charge you. They were just going to bring it to you. So we didn't really need those. We used them, but we could have just ordered more from the little app.
And we upgraded to a mini suite where there was an extra room or a little area where there was a couch and a desk right between the bedroom and the balcony. But I think that our room would have been fine even without the mini suite. If we just had the the bedroom area and the balcony, we would still have plenty of room for 2 people.
Yeah, the room was a very good size. I was expecting something significantly smaller, and I didn't feel cramped in our room at all. So now we're going to talk about the plus packages, the drink packages. They're not just drinks, thankfully.
Okay, so the plus package is the one that we would recommend, and it's actually $60 per day per person, which sounds like a lot, but that includes 15 drinks, and the drinks can be up to $15 per drink. So if you are a heavy drinker, this is a perfect package. But even if you're not, it's also a good package too. I'm not a drinker, so I was able to drink as many sodas as I want, as many of the mocktails, as well as literally enough water for us for the entire trip. So that includes the bottled water as well. But what's cool about this $60 per day plus package, the internet is also included there too. So I have actually clocked how fast the internet was on the ship, and the ship uses Starlink technology, and most of the cruises actually use Starlink technology, and you can get up to 3 megabytes per second downloads and about 1 megabyte per second uploads, which is definitely fast enough to update your social media, to look at Facebook, to read the news, and even stream Netflix and other videos online. So this is actually really good. If you bought it separately, it's fairly expensive, so it might as well be included into the package, or buy the package for the internet and the drinks. But this package also includes 2 fitness classes during the week. So Julie and I took 2 classes. Actually, I got sick, so we skipped on the stretching class, but we took a Pilates class together, and that was fun. It gave us something to do as a couple on the ship. The plus package includes all free deliveries to anywhere on the ship. So that's actually incredibly advantageous.
That plus package was actually very good. It also included 2 premium desserts per day per person. However, there's only so much food a girl can eat. So I didn't ever get that. I never got my dessert because I always had dessert or whatever someplace else. Like, it was just a lot. There's a lot of food and a lot of drinks on this ship.
Yeah, so they have basically, the free desserts, or the included desserts in the package for the cruise. But in addition, the premium ones were like these huge sundaes that they would they would make for you, and then they also have huge slices of cake that was just enormous. And so to eat 2 premium desserts a day would be very difficult, I think,
plus
for the
15
average.
Drinks.
plus 15 drinks. So it'd be very, very difficult. And I think it would be hard to stay slim and to actually stay in shape if we maximize our plus package. We'd definitely be plus size.
Yes.
And then finally, the plus package includes the mandatory tip for the crew. So typically the ship will charge like, I think like anywhere from $17 to $19 per day per person, depending on the type of room that you have. And that is the tip that goes to your servers and your the person who takes care of your room and upkeeps your room and cleans your room. So the plus package, if you add it all up, is actually worth it because it actually took care of the mandatory tip as well.
So let's talk about excursions now. When you get to port, they drop you off and it's up to you to figure out what to do. We booked ahead of time several excursions through BJ's, and we decided that we would try to do a little bit of something in every port, but not the whole entire time. We wanted to have some flexibility with how we were feeling, if we wanted to walk around, whatever. And you can also book through Princess. We found that the stuff that we booked ended up being a smaller group. On our hike, we only had one other person when we were in Ketchikan. And so we liked that smaller, more intimate feel. We didn't want to get in a big coach after getting off of a big ship and be with a whole bunch of more people. So I think that for us, especially me, that worked better because we weren't in a huge group.
Yeah, I agree. And we felt like the excursions were, because they were smaller, we had a more intimate interaction with the guide, and we were able to have more Q&A, and they were able to tailor the trip the way we wanted it. One of the tour guides asked us, where would you like to go after our hike? And she was flexible and was able to, because she had access to a car and she knew the area, was able to take us where we wanted to go.
We also stopped in a different tour at a meat store, a butcher sort of situation, so that we could get some jerky, some local jerky. So we prefer the smaller excursions, but this is all personal preference.
So being a doctor, I was curious about their medical department. I actually got sick eating a rotten oyster, and this was it was a bad oyster. I eat a lot of raw oysters. This oyster was bad. There was something bad about it. I had fevers and chills and rigors, so I needed antibiotics, and I basically probably food poisoning. But going down the medical, it was very nice. There are 3 medical doctors on board. There's a senior medical officer and 2 junior medical officers. There's also a nurse down there who's kind of like a nurse practitioner, and then there's also technicians. And so the ship is very capable of taking care of your medical needs. And I got some doxycycline, and they had a pharmacy that dispensed it, and then they gave me the bill and all my medical records. And you can actually take if you have travel insurance, you can actually submit your medical claims to your travel insurance to get reimbursed. But if you have medical insurance that covers ER and urgent care visits, if you're away from your home address, you can actually submit that paperwork and get reimbursed after your trip.
But definitely check that ahead of time before you leave for your trip to make sure that you know what your options are and what's covered and what's not covered.
And I would also recommend bringing antibiotics along. A lot of people do. I didn't this time, and in the future trips, Julie and I will bring antibiotics just in case. Being a doctor and she's a nurse, we know what we need, so we might as well bring a little mini pharmacy with us as well. So you can actually talk to your physician and get an antibiotic and other medications to take with you. But keep in mind that, being on the ship, it is risky because there are a lot of people. There's 3,000 passengers and roughly 1,500 crew members. So you're talking about almost 5,000 people on this ship. And when you're looking at the food line, you can see that all the utensils and the buffet line, people are touching them. So you got hundreds of people touching these utensils. And if they're sick, that's how pathogens are being spread throughout the cruise ship. And if you look at some reports, some research have shown that on cruise ships, infectious bacteria and parasites and other illnesses can be as high as 20 to 30 to 40% transmission rates because everyone's on the ship together.
You don't need to have an outbreak to spread the virus.
So remember to use the sink to wash your hands before and after touching these common utensils in the buffet line. And also use hand sanitizers before you venture into the restaurants and the places where they serve food. So these are just, normal, good hygiene things that you should be aware of. And I was kind of shocked because, for me, being a physician, I like to observe, people and see what they do. And I'm surprised that even on a cruise ship, I don't know why I'm surprised. On a cruise ship, a lot of guys don't wash their hands after using the restroom. And I'm just thinking, man, that is just a disaster waiting to happen if someone was sick or, does the number 2 and then basically spreads the bacteria or virus on the ship. And that's why there's a lot of, GI bugs that are outbreaks on the ship.
So on the Princess, there was a hand washing station. There was actually 2 or 3 hand washing stations at the entrance of the buffet, and no one washed their hands that I saw except me. So
and me.
I was concerned because people were not availing themselves of the opportunity to wash their hands before they entered and started touching things that they would and other people would be eating from. So that was concerning.
But that's crazy.
Yeah, so this is basically, because we're medical people, this is like safe cruising tips, right? Simple hand washing and using hand sanitizer will make your trip much more pleasant. And don't eat rotten oysters.
So if you enjoy all-you-can-eat dining, onboard entertainment, briefly visiting different ports, then cruising would probably be a great thing for you. That's a wrap for our first cruise.
Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And Julie and I will make more videos as we travel. She's actually going to Ireland next. And so maybe we'll get some good footage from that and have a video for you all.